This is a HeadGum podcast.
Fast and the Furious. And
Fast Five?
yeah.
I've seen all of them.
Oh God!
Wow.
I've seen and I don't hate Tokyo Drift.
I want. Can you name all?
Oh,
can you name
yes.
all?
Oh wait.
Oh yeah, I can
And
name them all.
Let's wait
correct
until
titles?
Wait,
Oh, I
let's
can
wait
name-
until. Are we now? Okay.
I can name them all in the right order. I think.
You can,
All right,
you
do it.
can.
All right. The original was Fast and Furious.
Wrong. Already
No,
wrong.
sorry.
Already wrong.
No, it's confusing.
You
It's
were
confusing.
ready. You were ready for him
No,
to
because the
say
first one, he might be an
Fast and
asshole.
Furious.
The first one is very confusing because it's The Fast and the Furious, and
That's
then Fast
correct.
and Furious.
But
All right,
see,
chill
but
out.
that's the whole point of this.
Exactly.
Is
Exactly.
they are all very confusing.
It's not all confusing. Like, all right,
right.
that one is simple.
All right.
That one they took the "the" out of it. Right.
Okay,
Wait.
sure.
Okay.
The Fast and the Furious.
Correct.
Too Fast, Too Furious.
Right.
Yes.
All right. Fast and Furious, Tokyo Drift.
Uh-huh.
Fast and Furious.
Yes.
Fast Five.
Yep.
Okay.
Furious. Oh shoot. What's the
Furious
sixth?
6? I don't
What's the
think.
sixth?
Is it
No.
called Furious 6?
So
Furious 6 and Furious 7. Is it Furious?
You're right. So here's what it first was called: Fast and Furious 6, and then by the time it came out, they just called it Furious 6.
And Furious 7 is.
So it was originally titled Fast and Furious 6, and then they just titled it Furious 6 and Furious 7. Yeah.
So the next one is going to be Furious 8.
I just loved that. My favorite is that they call the first one The Fast and the Furious, the second one Too Fast, Too Furious, and then the fourth one Fast and Furious. They're like, just take out the and it's a new title.
I mean, that's
and
when
then
everyone
Fast
came back.
5. I really wanted them to call one of them More Faster, More Furiouser.
That would have been great.
Wouldn't that have been great?
That'd be great.
That's what the eighth one should be called.
I mean, but they're
More Faster, More
But
Furious.
more faster is not right? That's
Correct.
not
But that's why it's fun.
correct. I mean, but these movies will never stop. They make so much money.
No, they make $1 billion a piece.
Charlize Theron is the bad guy in the next one.
That's
That's gonna be great.
insane.
I can't wait. For
I mean,
that.
those movies are. I mean, I'm not going to say it's so dumb, but they are so much fun.
I mean, I haven't seen any of them, but I'm excited about the prospect of Charlize
she's
Theron
gonna
being the
kill.
villain.
The only thing that sucks is they be beating The Rock. They whoop The Rock's ass in almost every one of these movies. Whoever's in it somehow injures The Rock, which is
ridiculous.
so ridiculous to me. It's like was it Jason Statham beat up The Rock in the last one?
No,
Yo,
what we
listen,
learned from Action Jackson is you don't have to be any kind of size to be defeated.
I don't. It's.
The Rock is.
We're
The
not
Rock.
even-
Have you seen that,
I
man?
know. Listen, we're not doing Fast and Furious movies, guys.
We're not. Oh, you're right.
We're not.
You're right. We're not.
We're doing a movie with a title that, if you Googled it, you don't get necessarily. You have to.
Oh.
You have to make sure you title film after it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
googled this at work without putting film. On the work computer.
Wait, but even if I feel like the struggle is even if you Google XXX film, doesn't something else come up? I mean, like something else
Sure.
could come up.
No, when
Sure.
I put film in, the first thing came up was
Yeah, it was
Triple
XXX.
Oh, okay.
X. You usually have to do it X, capital X.
Yes, that's what I did.
Lowercase X. All right.
Oh, lowercase x, capital X.
It's time to start the show.
Jonathan Braylock, James the Third, Jerah Milligan.
What more can I say? You know what it is.
Black men can't jump.
Black actors, man. Black actors. All right.
Welcome to Black Men Can't Jump in Hollywood.
Hollywood City.
Bruh, bruh, bruh.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I'm Jonathan Braylock.
I'm James the Third.
I'm Jerah Milligan. Why are your hands in the air?
Yeah,
man?
why are your hands in the air?
I posed.
Why are
when I
you
said my
waving
name.
them around now like you just don't care?
Because I don't. I really don't care.
That looked like
Oh
the
my
wacky.
God. That was the
wavy
wacky arm, man.
Doesn't matter. Nobody can see it. Picture like I was like real cool. I waved him like I just didn't even care.
All right.
You don't even sound cool.
Yeah, you did.
Wait, hold up.
sound
Wait, hold
cool.
up. I waved him like I just did.
All right, hold on, wait.
I waved him like I just don't care.
Can you try again? Can we?
That
be
was
cool?
Snoop.
Can you be cool?
The last one was Snoop.
Yeah, we
Great.
know.
Today, this is Jonathan Braylock, by the way. Some people say they're like, "Oh, I can't tell which one's you."
Because we all sound so similar.
I'm like, I'm the intelligent one, guys.
oh, didn't need that. Didn't need to start the episode with this beef.
I know, right? This
Oh,
episode's about to get
but for real, also another fan came up to me. They were like, wait, who was with me? Was it you? They were like, I don't agree with you.
No,
Remember
it
they
was
came up
me.
to-
It was me
Oh, it was you.
because he said to me, to my face, I don't usually agree because he didn't even know you were there. He came up to me and he was like,
where was this?
okay, so it was after a show.
After a show at UCB.
And he came up to me and he was like, oh, hey, I love your podcast. I don't usually agree with stuff that you say. And then Jonathan, who was within earshot, goes, but I bet you agree with what I say. And then to make matters worse, he goes, yeah, I do. And then I sat in the corner and cried the rest of the night.
Oh man, that was great.
At least he listens.
Guys, please tweet us at Black Men Podcast.
man.
Tell which one of us you agree with mostly.
Honestly, actually, what I would love to hear is just if any of you agree with me. Because now all I know is that one guy doesn't agree with me.
There's some people who love Hancock. You have some.
Okay.
There's not that many people who like that.
Today we are reviewing the film XXX. Starring Vin Diesel.
You know what? Now I know why Braylock's being so aggressive.
Oh, why?
We're reviewing a movie with a light-skinned dude in it.
Okay,
Oh, he's so excited. Oh, he's so...
Like, all of a sudden, I'm like, why Braylock got so much? Why got so much heat in here?
Okay, first of all,
light-skinned dude saving the day. Braylock, we did it. Fuck all y'all.
No.
You know what?
We're gonna reel this back. Okay, so I know some people are like me, and they went, "Wait, you guys are doing a Vin Diesel movie? He's black?" Question mark?
Yeah, question mark.
And this is a good question mark. Now, we did the Rock movie, and the Rock is light skinned.
Yeah.
He's half Samoan and
he ain't Vin Diesel.
I'm just saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Jerah is
No,
having,
I know. And I'm not Vin Diesel either. Shut up.
Hey, man,
Yeah, no.
Hey, if I had to pick a color, Braylock might be pistachio.
I can't participate in
butterscotch.
this
This is messed
part
up.
because this scares me
This
because
is
we're
messed
doing
up.
Ain't
it's
nothing
like
wrong with being butterscotch.
no, there's
right.
nothing wrong with it
I'm
at all.
not
There's nothing wrong with
butterscotch.
it at all.
I am.
You know what you are?
I'm caramel.
Caramel, yeah.
Oh, no, that
caramel.
man ain't caramel. That man butterscotch.
What? He's caramel.
Honestly, you don't see shade.
Hold on, wait. I got
That
a
man-
Twix. Let me just open up a Twix real quick.
Okay, just so
got a
everybody
Twix, we
knows,
can just look and
if you're
see.
getting offended right now about the level of shadist talk that we're doing, you might want to leave this episode.
Oh, it's gonna get worse.
Are we gonna keep doing it?
No,
I
it's
don't
not
think
that we're gonna, but we are going to get into a little bit because that's the crux of what I think is interesting about Vin Diesel's career. Anyway, so okay, let's just lay out some facts.
Can I ask
Okay,
one,
great.
can I
Yeah.
ask
What?
one thing?
One
Hey, in Twix, right? The cookie.
Yeah, and Twix.
The cookie, right?
What?
Don't
Yes,
you dare
the
call me
cookie.
that cookie. I'm the chocolate on the outside.
No, he's definitely more caramel than the cookie.
You think so?
Yes.
That cookie-
What?
What are you? Yo,
that
there's
cookie-
like this dude
that
who
cookie-
thinks like Rosie Perez is darker than Jennifer
Well,
Lopez.
no, but I was a part of that conversation
That
too,
cookie,
though.
but that cookie is like if you took a splash of cookie. If it was a Crayola box, right? And you had a tan crayon.
Oh my goodness,
Right? You had
I'm
a tan
so
crayon.
mad right now.
And you had a
Yeah.
gold. And you had a gold.
First of all,
crayon
if
and
I
mix
get
them
10,
together.
I get much, much darker than I am now. I look straight Dominican though when I get tan.
Oh,
But whatever. All black people know that I'm black. All black people know that. I hate that I'm defending this.
wait, hold on. What is it? What do we have?
Producer Nick pulled up.
Producer
a Twix.
Nick.
Pulled up a Twix.
It's not right. That's not right, producer Nick.
Yeah, and he is more the caramel than the cookie.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
why. And producer
Stop
Nick
trying
said
to say that I'm the cookie.
that's why he brought it up because
messed up.
he is more the caramel than the cookie. So
Hey, oh, sorry. Lay out your facts. My fault.
All right. This film XXX came out in 2002.
yes, I was in high school at the time dating a girl named Michelle. She loved Vin Diesel.
So just to let you know where Vin Diesel was in his career, this is actually his first this is just him.
Yep, just leave.
Other than the movie that he produced his own film
Right.
called, what was it called again? Something
know, but it was dope,
something with an
apparently.
S.
It was like really good.
Strays? Strays. I think it was called
really?
Strays. Something like that. Yeah, he apparently did a good job. And then he also apparently, if IMDb or if Wikipedia trivia is correct, he wrote Steven Spielberg a letter. I think Spielberg probably saw the film and he wrote Spielberg the letter, something like that, talking about how great Spielberg was and how much he inspired him. And Spielberg put him in Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
I remember that.
That was his biggest. That was his boom. Now he's on the scene.
Right.
Then he did Boiler Room.
Which he was great in. Yo.
Really good.
He's really good in that.
He did obviously The Fast and the Furious. Wait, there's
and
another
Furious.
film that he did too.
The Pitch Black.
Pitch Black.
But I'm
There you
waiting.
go.
When was
Pitch
that?
Black.
I'm
Well,
trying to see when
That was in
was.
2000.
Pitch Black.
That was
people
before.
loved
That was
Pitch
before
Black.
this.
Loved Pitch
So
Black.
so
Yeah.
he did, and because Pitch Black was because we were talking about maybe doing Pitch Black first, but I'm almost positive I'm right, which is he wasn't supposed to be, he wasn't the lead.
Well,
in the film.
it's like an
It was an
ensemble
film.
B sci-fi,
And like he wasn't the focal point of
was
the
the dude
movie.
and the woman.
right? And then they took it and ran with it.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
not
he
even
was
sure if
he
it was
he was
like
kind of like the hero of the movie in a sense, but but he wasn't like it was like you didn't know about it going in, other than the fact that he had black eyes.
Yeah, and he could see in the dark.
And he could see in the dark.
So dope.
Yeah, but like the movie was just like a straight kind of like horror film.
Yeah,
like it was a really
Right, yeah.
scary concept. Like you
Yeah.
couldn't. They're on an alien planet, and there are these monsters that attack in the dark.
Yeah.
And then there's a eclipse that happens, so everything's dark at all the time.
And remember,
good.
he's a criminal who like like the whole thing is he's like this criminal who
Right.
like. So technically, he is also a threat. you
Right.
know?
yeah, he's a
So-
he's a criminal with a heart of gold.
So anyway,
in the
so
end.
he has that. Then he has the Fast and the Furious. The Fast and the Furious, huge mega hit. Okay, makes a ton of money.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're definitely doing a sequel. And then he gets his own film now, Triple X.
Triple X.
And it's starring Sam Jackson as well, Samuel L.
Yep.
Jackson. But that's pretty much it. There's no other there's no other star firepower in it. And it came out in August. I think the film cost something like
was like-
$70 million to make, so
Yep.
it's a big budget film.
Yep.
And it made like what, $257 million?
277.
277 million worldwide.
277.
So it made pretty much the same as the Fast and the Furious did domestically, but it made much more internationally. Why? Because this movie was like, do you guys remember this time?
it was
Like,
extreme sports. This
It was
is
extreme
Oh
sports.
yeah.
X Games.
It was
X Games.
It was X Games.
Freaking
Yeah.
Tony Hawk. And,
Yeah.
Tony
yeah.
Hawk's in the movie.
Tony Hawk is in the
Oh,
movie. Yes,
I
I
didn't
noted
even-
that. I saw that. I was
Tony
like, oh,
Hawk's
he's
in the movie.
didn't
he's in
even
the beginning.
realize.
Mhm. He's in the beginning in the party scene.
Yeah, and he drives the getaway car. He's like when he's doing his first stunt.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later. But like Tony Hawk is the one driving
Tony
the
Hawk's,
car.
yeah.
Oh man.
So-
I can't believe I was that
Do you
out of it. I
remember?
didn't
Were
even
you guys
realize.
into extreme sports at all? Like,
I
did you have
used to-
those
No,
fingerboards?
I wasn't into it like at all. It wasn't that I didn't get it because I got it. I got
Yeah.
what was cool about it, but I was like so removed from it.
Right.
Oh man, I have a terrible. So my job, we went to the Winter X Games one year.
Mm-hmm.
We did this shoot with Shaun White, and they offered me and my coworker a chance to teach us how to like snowboard. And I'm like, dude, I gotta learn how to snowboard.
Yeah.
We were so busy that like we could never free lessons from experts. We couldn't even take them up on it. I was stuck in like
damn,
the
that
edit room the
sucks.
entire trip.
Oh,
The entire trip.
Wait. Lessons from Shaun White?
Yeah.
It was
from-
not from him, but like
from his company.
From his company.
I was like, you guys should have
I'd
just
be
like,
like, no, we gotta
screw work.
stop, guys.
Bruh,
we gotta
won't
stop.
sleep.
Man.
Oh, that's
That thing
cool.
was huge.
Yeah,
dude.
man.
It
I
was
remember I
huge.
had those fingerboard skate. That was like the closest I came.
Oh, did you
to
ever
it.
play Tony Hawk?
or and I played the
I
Tony
did
Hawk
play
game
that
and the
game.
BMX one.
Oh yeah, BMX one was great.
And
Yeah.
I think I got a bike that had the pegs, but I didn't like do any tricks or anything.
oh, you had the peg bike. See, I didn't learn how to like do a
Peg
wheelie,
bike was
I
so huge.
Yeah, it
they
was.
were great.
It was massive. It was everywhere.
Anyway, so that definitely helped, I think, especially internationally.
Sure.
But now let's talk about the facts of Vin Diesel, right? We don't know what his ethnicity is. We know his mom.
We
his
know his
mom
mom
is white.
is white. Yep.
His father, don't know. And I don't know if he knows. I don't know if he wants to know.
Yeah.
But he's very famously has like kept his like ethnicity kind of ambiguous. He's called himself a person of color. He looks like he has something in
Oh, yeah,
him,
he's
maybe.
definitely-
Yeah.
Though the other thing is that he can pass as a lot of things. One of them being Italian. He looks like he could be
Yes.
Italian.
Yeah.
So
He's
he
been
made
Italian in movies. As a matter of fact, isn't he Italian in A Man Apart? Were you
probably is,
I
yes,
was
because he's a
talking about A Man
gangster in that
Apart,
movie,
but,
right?
right?
Who's
I think
defending
so.
I mean,
himself,
his
a
name
lawyer?
is Sean Vetter.
Yes, I think he is. I think he
He's
is.
an Italian. In that.
And like a mobster, an Italian mobster. So he made a short film. I actually watched it because it was on YouTube.
Oh.
It was only like 20 minutes. He made a short film called what is it? Oh, Multifacial.
Yes, that's the one I was talking about. That's the one I remember.
Multifacial. Oh, you remembered it as good?
I remember. I heard it was very good.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say that.
What's it about? What's it about?
So basically, it's just like, I mean, that being said, it's like old school. It's like very old school. Like clearly, like he recorded on like VHS or something.
Yeah.
Maybe not, but it looks like that. And it's basically, he's an actor. You see him, you really just see him in auditions mostly. In the beginning, he's doing like a very stereotypical, offensive Italian mobster. He's he starts off like reading the monologue. You don't know he's in an audition room. He's just like saying all this stuff. And then like after he finishes this like kind of long monologue, it pans over and you see like a very like, New York 90s New York hipster, like not hipster, but like, you know what I'm talking about? Those like theater 90s, like he's got the facial hair and he's like got the turtleneck, the black turtleneck, and he's like
a beret,
hey,
maybe.
Thank you, And basically he walks out and he's like, yeah, they definitely thought I was a Guido, but like it was really offensive. I don't know. And then he goes to this other audition and there are all these black guys there and he's there. And then the casting director like comes out and he's like, are you sure you're at the right audition? And he's like, yeah, Bob, this person sent me. And he's like, oh, okay, man. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. We were going darker. And he's like, oh, okay.
That's
like,
not realistic. Unless it was for a gang.
No, whatever.
But
it happens, right?
That could be what.
That could be a thing.
Yeah.
So he's just like, we're going darker. And so he's like, okay, thanks for being honest with me. And then he kind of leaves. And then he goes, but we, next week we're doing like some Hispanic stuff, so you can come to that. And he's like, okay, great. And so then he goes to, and then I don't know if it's the same audition or whatever. It cuts to like him at another audition. He's being Hispanic. He's just got like a really like kind of a bad Spanish accent, like I don't know if like a Puerto Rican accent. And then the woman he's reading with starts speaking in Spanish, and then he's like, because he can't speak Spanish because he's not Spanish. And then like, basically, the last thing is he goes to this other audition where now he does this whole monologue and he talks about, I think, his maybe a lot of truth in this, where he talks about how his father was an actor, his father was a black actor, blah, 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 and he wants to be an actor like his father, and his father's like, I don't want you to be the best black actor. I just want you to be the best actor. And like it's like kind of emotional. He doesn't cry or anything, but it's like very like delivered very naturally and real. And they're like, that was amazing. Though we're looking for somebody with like dreads or whatever. And then,
God.
And then and then it ends at him like at a restaurant, and there's like a white blonde woman who's like, oh yeah, God, like it's so hard. Like I always get, I'm either like too bimbo-y or I'm not pretty enough, and blah blah. And he's like listening to it, and then he's like, huh. And then and then she orders coffee, and she's like, can I get some coffee? And he's like, oh, how would you like it? Dark? And she's like, not too dark, not too light. And then Vin Diesel smiles and the movie ends.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Producer Nick is laughing appropriately, honestly, because it's like, that's why I'm like, it's okay.
I mean, come on.
What do you do with that?
So here's the thing.
That's how you end your.
He's ethically
short.
ambiguous, right? So let's just get to it. Like, should we just do initial thoughts of this film before we get into like all this shade talk?
We can, or we can stick to talking just about Vin Diesel and then move into the movie, whichever you want to do.
I mean, I feel like we never actually really have a deep shade discussion.
Yeah, no, we do when.
I mean, I feel like it's a joke here and there.
Okay, yeah. So here, let me just for those of you who haven't seen the movie, basically the movie is just about extreme sport. It's like this guy who does extreme sports, like on the underground, and like tapes it and puts it on the web.
And
that's
and
a new
like
thing.
and is a criminal who's like sticking it to the man.
Right, right. He's like very much like, I'm sticking to a man. He like in the beginning he like steals a car, and then drives it off a bridge, which is like in the Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's the same stunt.
Well, come on, that's what you got to do.
He's been doing the same stunt for
That's what he's
decades.
known for.
All
That's
right.
what he's known
so
for.
yeah, he drives it off a bridge and then he like parachutes away. And so basically Sam Jackson is leading this like, secret agent kind of team or not a team. They're trying to find a criminal guy because they're expendable, because this Russian mob that they're going after can spot their men from a mile away because of the training. So they need to get somebody who's also gritty and dirty and blah, blah, blah. So they basically, Vin Diesel becomes that guy. He goes in and he becomes a spy. But, he doesn't, he's like sticking it to the man. He does it in his own way.
He doesn't abide by the rules.
Yeah, he does it in his own way. But then he's like the best spy.
Yeah.
Cool. That's the movie. All right.
That is kind of.
So here's the thing. It's like, oh, man, I was watching that and I got to be honest. After I saw that short film, I was like, huh. Is it like being the shade stuff, right? Like, it felt kind of weird to me because I was like, he almost was saying like, I'm so light, I'm in between, so I can't get any part.
Yeah.
But you don't feel that way.
I mean, it's difficult for me because it's like being a darker skinned person is like all I have ever seen is shade when I see people who like
Yeah.
are in movies and TV. Like when I, especially with women of color.
Yeah.
Like when I see women of color, there is no dark skinned woman, even a young one who's out here doing it. Like we don't have a dark skinned like Jennifer Lawrence. Like I mean, think about it. I feel like the darkest woman in particular that is working is Viola Davis. Mm-hmm. You know, and when I see men,
Lupita.
for instance, like I mean, we'll get to it later, but this movie has a quasi swirl in it. And watching that scene, I was like, huh. From this angle, I can't tell that Vin Diesel isn't like when he went to kiss her, their skin complexion was so close at that point. I was like,
Yeah.
I can't tell this is a person of color. And I was like, I wonder if this is why he can do this.
Totally.
Like, and the thing is, it's
I
don't
like
know.
just to put it. I mean, I've said this already on other podcasts, but like, I did not know that Vin Diesel was black or anything. I don't. I mean, I still don't.
Like we have talked about.
I did not know he was a person of color. Like, if anything, I was like, oh, I guess he could be Hispanic, but I didn't even. I've never thought of him as a person of color.
oh really?
Yeah.
He's always looked like a person of color.
I remember when when Michelle, who I've already brought up, I'm going to keep bringing her up probably throughout this podcast, but first said to me that he was black, and I was like, oh. Vin Diesel, he's black. What? He's black? And she's like, yeah. Look at his nose, is what she said.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. I guess I recognize those features as features that I've seen in African American people and myself. My nose and Vin Diesel's nose, they look similar, right? Like,
Right.
and like, yeah. I mean, I am because. And she was like, he identifies as that, which, I mean, now it seems like he just identifies as a person of color, and we don't know.
So his
we don't know
stepfather is black.
Okay.
And he was raised by his stepfather.
Okay.
So I think he does heavily relate to like the African American.
But yeah, I mean, like,
he looks like a.
he looks like a person of color to me, and that's how he
He doesn't
looks.
look black to me though. I'd be honest,
I don't-
but it doesn't
Oh,
matter.
really?
I guess the thing is like just to bring some like U.S. history in this, especially for some of our foreign listeners, because we have those, which is cool. You know, the whole because it's different in South Africa. They divided up by shade. You know that?
Yeah. It had
You know,
apartheid, which was
it's like black and colored are like two different things.
Yeah.
You know, in America, it was basically like you're either black or you're white. If you have like one drop of black in you, you're black. And they did that because of slavery and then because of Jim Crow. It was like a way to keep the segregation, like because they had to like basically make laws out of racism, which is why when we talk about institutionalized race, it's not like a pie in the sky kind of. It's like
Also,
guys, they literally had to write laws to define racism.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, the Jim Crow. I mean,
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Jim
So
Crow
it's like, it's like, you know, interracial, marriages were forbidden and all this kind of stuff. So that's why the shade stuff, that's why when people are very light skinned and they can pass, but if people find out that you're black, then you're just black, you know?
Right.
But the thing is, it's like on a real scientific level, it doesn't mean anything. Like DNA wise, somebody who's darker skin can be closer DNA wise to somebody who's lighter skin than somebody else who's darker skin.
Oh, is that
Right.
true?
Yeah, it is true because like it's not like it's the idea of the concept of race is like very much a human
Visually, like
yeah, it's
like-
just because that's how we see it. Because think about it, like and then they had to think about this in America, like, well, what are Italians then? Because they're darker skinned than most white people, right? They have like an olive skin. What are Arabs? Like they have their certain skin color, and then you have people like from India and Pakistan, and
Did
then
Jim Crow
Asians.
count for non-blacks? Did it count for Asians and Indians and stuff? Like,
I mean, I think they had. I don't know like the specifics of like every race. I know like for instance like the Japanese like went to court and like Asian Americans like went to court to define themselves as not black and like show like they had to like prove in court that they were more of descendants to whites than like blacks or something. So that they didn't have to get grouped in to the segregation thing. Which is crazy, right? So there's like all this stuff and it's like skin color, it's like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is when you get to this thing of like but in terms of movies, the idea of like this person who's ethnically ambiguous, can somebody who is a person of color, you know, if they look white, especially saying like internationally, right? This movie did very well internationally. You know, like, is it?
I mean, we've talked about this before on the podcast, and I think that it depends on the person, right, and the success of that person, right? Because like we have Vin Diesel, we have Keanu Reeves, right?
Yes,
who is someone who it's just kind of like he is, his name is Keanu Reeves, and he is. We have said it, and I don't remember what is his heritage.
You know, I've said half Japanese before that. I actually am not 100% sure.
Okay, but it's fine, right? But it's like he is a person of he is a
one of his parents is like 100% Asian,
right?
Oscar Isaac talks about this,
and then
now,
yes,
too.
and
Oscar Isaac,
but it's like these people are people who are making waves and making a splash, right? My girlfriend is half Chinese, half Jewish.
Okay.
And she is struggling with that.
His father is a Hawaiian-born American who has Chinese ancestry.
Okay, great.
So I'm very sorry for saying that he was half Japanese.
No, right.
Not Japanese at
but
all.
now we know, you know what I mean? We know that people can look it up. And I'm glad that we were able to fact check that. But my girlfriend is someone who has been struggling with this being ethnically ambiguous her whole time as an actor.
Does she feel like that she can pass as white though?
For a long time, she would go out for roles that would say Caucasian on them, and now I think she is doing that less and less. Is
it on her own will or because of just she's not?
I think on her own will. I remember in school. We there was a casting controversy, a play that the United Artists of Color Theater did, where I was cast in it, another guy was cast in it, and the two females it was a white girl and Kat, my girlfriend, who is ethnically ambiguous, but I guess quote unquote could pass for white, right? And there was this whole thing of like, does this play look like two black people going after white women only? And the director was like, I don't know if that's the message that I want to send, if I want to send this message. I'm talking about the swirl. Right. So I think it's more on her own that she has chosen to not do it, but also she looks like she has, you know, the question is like, oh, what ethnicity are you? You know,
people are so curious, right? They want to know. So that was another thing in the short film. They would keep being like, you know, what are like they would, or if they wouldn't directly say what are you, they'd like project it onto him.
But that
like, they'd be like, you're Italian. They'd be like, oh, you're Spanish. They'd be like, oh, you're black.
And to think about at the time of this, he was like 27 or 28, so he probably had been trying for a while, and had been having this experience of like
when he did the
when he did that movie talking about that, right? Like you know, really at the ground level trying to hustle, and like he was probably getting turned away a lot because it is I think it's a struggle for ethnically ambiguous people.
I thought it was so interesting.
That's very interesting to me.
Yeah.
You think it's struggle acting wise, or just like it's so funny?
Yeah, I know for a fact that my girlfriend has all of those experiences that you just described. In this, she's she like I said, Jewish and Asian, but it's the same thing.
It is true to a certain extent because you get put in a box. So like, but this is the other thing that's like kind of messed up about the casting world. There's like, so in the XXX, in the beginning of the movie, they talk about. I think I texted you guys this. Like somebody calls him boy, which is like very reminiscent of like him being black. You know what I mean? Yep. I think somebody like talks to him about being like Tijuana. Like, what are you, Tijuana? Like, like, what are you, Tijuanan?
He says,
what are you from, Tijuana?
Yeah. Did you take the car to Tijuana or something? Yeah. He says something like that.
Yeah. So like a reference to him like being like Tijuana is in Central America.
No, it's Tijuana's Mexico.
Oh, right? Tijuana's Mexico. That's right.
Yeah, like basically like that's what, you know. If you're a college kid, it's like not college. You're like you're a white kid from California. You'd be like, oh, I'm going to Tijuana.
Only if you're a white.
I mean, I didn't
but to me, that was like a reference to him being Hispanic. And then, but when he's in Colombia and they're running away from actual Colombian drug cartel, they call them gringos.
Yeah, the
because he's
whole
with
group.
two other
They call
white guys,
that
and they're
whole
like,
group,
they're like
yeah.
gringos, and they talk to Vin Diesel like he's a white. He's like, you're a gringo, you know.
But isn't gringo just for anyone who is not like that's not
Right? Yeah. No, I think I would
that's
imagine
not, like-
that they would
But
call
I don't
him
think
that.
I don't think they call black people gringos.
I think you would if you're not. I mean, I don't know, but I think
Oh, maybe.
a gringo is just like someone who is not. It's like if I.
But it is still another reference to
But, like,
his
why-
skin.
yeah.
right? Like,
and that's but I think it was because 'cause I felt like it was purposeful. Like I think it also because like he was with white. It's like if you put Vin Diesel in a group of white people, like a bunch of Italians, you'll be like he's Italian. But if you put him, with like some light skinned black brothers, and you're like, oh, he's black.
Yeah.
If you put him with a bunch of people, the reason that I think I'm pretty sure the reason I feel like I always thought Vin Diesel was Hispanic was because of Fast and the Furious. The Fast and the Furious.
His sister's white.
Because it's and like that whole crew, like a lot of the people in the crew, I feel like some of them were Spanish, and I was like, oh, that's what he is, And remember his whole thing about family or whatever.
Yeah.
Is Michelle Rodriguez in the first one?
She's in the first one. Yeah, that's his girlfriend.
Yeah, that's his girlfriend. So like there was like I was like, yeah, and it's really that's what it is. When you're ethnically ambiguous, you can put yourself into a bunch of situations, and like on the one hand, it feels like it actually should be to your advantage, and I think it was for him in this movie.
Well, yeah, no, it's like, and it's just that thing of like sometimes it can be an advantage depending on the person, depending on the time, depending on the moment,
Yeah, I mean,
and then
it's-
sometimes
yeah.
it's like, and then sometimes you're 27 and you're gonna make this short film because every person you go to thinks you're something else, right? And you don't get a single role because it's like on his IMDb, it's his first thing that's a role that he's credited for, and it's a thing that he made himself.
Yeah. I know, which I thought was cool. He's wanted to be an actor since he was young, and I was like, oh, honestly,
He's a New Yorker too,
I
right?
thought that Vin Diesel was really good in this movie. By the way,
I think it
there's
was
some moments
great.
that I really love.
I was like, wait, because in my mind, Vin Diesel is not a good actor.
I mean, he was
don't know
great in
why.
Boiler Room.
I think
Like,
just because like he hasn't done like good movies for a while. Like whatever. Fast and Furious, I know people like that, but like that's a particular thing. And then he did like I don't know, like the Riddick movies. I'm
a fan.
I like the Riddick movies.
Yeah,
Oh, do
I'm
you?
a fan of Pitch Black. Yeah.
Well,
I like
Pitch Black.
Chronicles,
No,
too.
I'm not
No,
talking
I
Pitch
mean,
Black.
but I
like
mean,
Chronicles, too.
Do you like Riddick?
They made them Riddick movies, but I'm a
Riddick.
fan. Like in my mind, it's
the Pitch Black
always
movies.
Pitch Black. Yeah.
I get that.
But it's not. It's like about.
But it's
him.
not. It's about him, and it's about I
They like never go back to that world, do they?
I really
well,
like.
Riddick was supposed to be their step back to that world because he's
Right.
back at night. He's back on like a planet, and it's the whole. It gets dark and whatever.
Yeah, no,
It's
Big
funny.
fan.
It's so funny you say that because watching this movie, I was like, oh man, Vin Diesel was getting a chance to do everything. Every time we do one of these action movies with like Eddie Murphy or like whoever, it's like Vin Diesel got to do everything I always joked about a person doing. He was the sex symbol.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He was shirtless. He had fly clothes. He had cars. Like he was a legit badass. He got the girl. You know, and it's like that. I remember that. I'm just thinking about this. There's a scene when the lead female character and Vin Diesel kiss in the club, and that shot to me was just so interesting because they were in like this dark room. The windows in the back were lit, and it's just kind of like at that point I just couldn't tell. Like I wouldn't be able to tell what Vin Diesel was.
yeah.
And I'm like, is this? Because he didn't have a sex scene. He didn't have a sex scene.
I
but
mean,
he got the
did.
kick.
They weren't like because the movie wasn't R, right? It was
Right.
PG-13, so they're
Yeah.
not going to have like they had as much of a sex scene as like.
I mean, no, but sometimes like they kissed. Did they have a? There was some.
No,
scene
not
I
with
was-
him. With the
No,
freaking
no.
other.
But
There was
the
another
other
girl.
guy-
He has
there's a-
sex with.
Oh
another
yeah, I was
woman.
point when he,
well, I was
like-
talking about
He
with
like
the white
comes in and the woman's like
Well, yeah, I was
completely
talking-
and
I was
she's
talking
like
about
crawling
swirl.
on the
No,
bed.
but he's-
but that's a swirl
swirl.
too. That's a woman. That woman was white.
That woman. what?
No, she wasn't.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no,
Bruh,
right?
you
Wait,
don't know
I
She
couldn't
was
shit.
tell.
just really tan.
I feel like she was really tan.
No, I feel like there was definitely or even.
I honestly was
no,
trying to
bruh.
figure out. I was trying to figure out, but no, she had to be.
But I
She
mean,
was Russian.
it still could have been a. It
I
still
don't
could have
know,
been
man.
a.
That woman
I'm looking
did
it
not,
up, dude.
That woman did not look white at all.
I think she was white, dude.
Yeah, just like really tan.
Bruh.
Oh, by the way, can we talk about Eve was in this movie?
Yeah,
Oh
for a
gosh,
split
I was
second.
so happy that she was in
What?
it too. I'm just a big Eve fan. Anytime Eve shows up in something, I'm like,
Dude,
yeah, let's do this.
She's
Eve.
in a movie
Come on.
for one scene, and like also she did the same thing that she does in Barbershop.
I just
where
wanted
she's
to be
just
like,
"What you doing?
Who
Why you
drank
on
my apple juice? I just wanted her to
basic-
just ask him for
That's
some
what
like
she
just
did.
if
That's
she.
basically what she did. Okay, look, this has to be the woman that he had sex with.
Bruh, I'm pretty sure.
Oh wait,
she
no,
was-
it's not. That was the Jordan King
I mean, maybe she's like, but she looked very, very. Look, man, that I don't know, bro.
She is darker than he is, at least.
Yeah,
that's
like,
a thing. That's
yeah,
true.
it's like that's
she's
yeah.
darker than he is. I mean, it's a question. She's ethnically ambiguous too.
No, but it's so interesting talking about like just whether or not, and it is, you know, hearsay, whatever, just whatever. But the fact that, like, you know, Vin Diesel got to do something like Will Smith didn't get to do in a film. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he got to do that, and it's like, I'm just curious. I'm very fascinated by the two lifestyles, if you will, like, because as a darker skinned person, all I see for me, from my point of view, are the benefits.
Yeah.
Like, I love being the complexion I am, but when I look at Hollywood, I see benefits of not being, like, for me, it took me a long time to be cool with being black. Like, and like unapologetic, like I used to say, like, I'm unapologetically black. Like, I'm not hiding this. There's no way to get rid of it. Like, you get putting, you know what I'm saying? There's no makeup. And it's like, when I think of movies, and I think of, you know, some of the celebs we do have, I mean, it's kind of different now, but it was always that fight of, like, when dark-skinned brothers coming back in style. You know, remember, like, Westy came out, it was like, dark-skinned brothers in style again. You know, it's like, oh, Drake's out, light-skinned brothers in style again. And it's interesting because, like Braylock said earlier, like, there should never be.
Are in style.
Yeah, but it's like, it should never be a thing. You know?
Yeah.
And to me, it's so interesting that this whole shade conversation and debate still plays in 2016, whereas, like, how do we get past that thing? You know, where is the prop? Like, is it where is the?
I mean, it's that weird thing of like it came up in this movie. His shade comes up in this movie, right? Like, they flat out talk about it. But in Pitch Black, for example, or in those movies, Riddick is just Riddick. You know what I mean? Like, he's not like. You know, like,
I know, but you know what it is? I think it's because I think when somebody is dark, when somebody's a darker skinned black person, you can't deny that they're black, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you can't. There's no way around it. And because our country, especially, but the world really still, because there's so much racial baggage.
Yeah.
Whenever it's like somebody's black, like, we talk about this, like, it feels like you almost like have to address it. So, like, if Vin Diesel, I mean, it's interesting because the sequel to this movie is Ice Cube, but, like, to me, if Vin Diesel in this movie is like dark skinned black, like Wesley Snipes, and goes to Russia, you know what I mean? And then has to, like, infiltrate that gang, like, I feel like they would constantly have to talk about
it,
why they're black. And then if they didn't, I feel like we as the audience would be like, why are they talking about the fact that this dude's black, though?
You know, I gotta wait. Like, this is my thing. Like, because I know this movie did very well overseas, and I know, you know, the Hollywood's big thing is, like, you know, people of color and women don't sell overseas, right? That's always, like, the excuse. We don't sell.
Well, women sell, but in you know, some romances.
Yeah, romance.
Just keep them to the romance.
Or if they're half naked. Don't forget, they got to be half.
Definitely,
naked.
if they're half naked.
Are they playing a doctor? That movie will never.
Are they playing a naked doctor? Okay.
That movie is going to work overseas.
Yep.
But this
they
is my
can play
thing.
the hot Bond girl.
Oh, they can be a hot Bond girl.
She can shoot some stuff.
I remember that scene. What was it? What was the movie? Talking about Bond. This is a side note.
We have a lot of side
What was it? Christmas. What was her name? It was.
January Jones.
No, her name was Christmas.
No.
It was Denise Richards played.
Oh yeah.
A scientist, and I will never forget.
Oh
this.
my God.
As a child, I remember this. The first time you see her, she's in a crop top, like wife beater, like Dukes, and then at some point she has doctor glasses between her cleavage.
Yeah.
So that's how you know she's like the scientist, and she carries a briefcase.
But that's how you know. You wouldn't have known without those.
You gotta have a doctor glasses.
Without the doctor glasses in her cleavage, then how would I have known she was a woman?
This is
how would I
Hollywood.
have known any of that?
This is Hollywood.
No,
but the thing I find interesting, for instance, like, to me, to get past that, and this isn't theory, wouldn't it be easier just to get a bunch of movies, right? Like, some of these studio pictures that we are having trouble finding more of, with people of color and women in leads, make a bunch of those, right? So now they're just like a movie, right? It's not odd when we see, like, a person of color in a movie, and then hopefully, if we flood the market with that, people will be like, oh, this is.
I mean,
it's not a thing. Like, I still can't stop thinking about the fact that we don't have an Asian superstar. Like, we do not have an Asian, like, in America.
In America, what?
No, I'm saying, like, we don't have, like, a Asian American, like, lead.
Oh.
Male or female.
Lucy Liu for a little bit.
Lucy Liu hasn't made a movie in how many
John
years?
Cho is
No, but
really
she's
good,
on-
man. He
but
should be
she's
leading
on,
more films.
John Cho is
Not
fantastic.
Sherlock. Was she on?
She's on Elementary.
Is that still on? That show's still on?
It is.
Well, Keanu Reeves though, and Olivia
Yeah,
Wilde.
no, right? But it's like
Keanu
it's
Reeves.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Olivia Wilde. Olivia
She's-
Munn.
Olivia.
Is Olivia Wilde not part Asian? Man, dude, I'm losing my mind today.
Yo.
I thought she was though.
Oh, we're talking about Olivia
Doesn't
Wilde.
Olivia Wilde look a little bit?
No,
Asian?
she's from.
The white woman?
Where's she from?
She's like
Producer Nick.
I know Olivia Munn.
producer Nick.
Olivia Wilde.
No, isn't
who's
she like
in-
a?
who's-
Isn't she like an?
She's
okay.
Irish.
That woman look white.
No, but look at her eye. Oh my god.
Look, you about to say look at her eyes?
But for real though.
She has that ethnically ambiguous.
Oh, now
white.
some of
Does
these-
she? No, she's like
To me, a
No.
little bit. But now I look at some of them, I'm like, nah, she's kind of white.
Like, why did you say?
Olivia Munn, I
But she
guess.
has like an interesting facial feature that doesn't.
I mean, she's beautiful.
Olivia Munn is though, right?
Olivia Munn is Olivia Munn, and she's on her way up on the.
Yeah, but we're talking about superstars here, though, right?
talking about a superstar.
Like, and I agree. I think it's insane, and I think it's a
Yeah.
shame.
So, you want to talk about the movie a little bit?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Kevin.
Can I?
You go first.
Yo,
I'm
I-
excited.
I really like this movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did too.
I was
Yeah.
like, yo, this movie's good.
yeah. I like
This
it.
is a good movie.
I will
agree.
say this.
I thought
like
Vin Diesel was great in it. I was like, yo, of course this man's a superstar after this film.
Yeah.
I mean, watching it.
Why didn't he get to make more of these?
Well,
More of these?
He did. He turned it down.
Yeah,
Yeah, he turned
I
it
think
down.
the
He
only
did.
reason is he turned it down.
But he's
It
going
had
back
be.
to it now
Because they try to do it real quick. But yeah, it's too late now, man. Come on, dude.
It's like why didn't he do
Too Fast and Furious.
Tokyo Too Fast and Furious?
He didn't do Too Fast.
No,
Too
he
Furious.
didn't
'cause
do Too Fast
He
and
didn't do Too Fast, Too Furious because he did this.
Right,
This came
yeah,
out in
yeah.
2002. He
and
did
then, which
this.
is cool. I'm cool with that. And then, because he was like, let me do my own thing. Because Paul Walker was still kind of the lead in that. I mean, it was like
Yeah.
but it was like still kind of Paul
And we
Walker.
got
He's
to
like,
have
no, no, no,
Tyrese,
don't be me.
which nothing wrong
What?
with Tyrese.
Oh man, you
Right,
get
well, enough of that. But
Yo,
Nothing
yo,
wrong
he did?
with Tyrese.
You know what he did?
Baby?
They did.
my head hurt. You make my head hurt.
Try is so mad. He is rubbing his temples.
It's like Tyrese. First off, what's the actor? Michael Ealy. Michael Ealy should have.
All right,
I
I know.
actor did-
Wait,
all right.
no, we've been very clear. We've been
right.
very clear about how we want actors to be doing actor parts. But I ain't got no ill will towards Tyrese.
I don't have ill will towards.
I
don't
love
have no-
Eve. You loved Eve in this movie.
You know, Eve was doing her thing in there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but there was like, I don't know, like I felt like he wasn't trying to be. It didn't feel. It didn't feel fake. There was
Yeah.
something like very real about who he was, and like a lot of the things when you watch action movies and they're very overly macho or whatever, you're like, all right, enough of this, you know.
Yeah.
But there was something about the way that he did it. I was like, yeah, I believe that. Like, and I'm on this guy's side
because
actually.
he didn't know everything.
My favorite
He didn't know
scene,
everything.
like that's in line with that of him being like supernatural, but him being very natural.
Yeah,
you
very
know,
comfortable.
and very comfortable was the scene when he just like bursts into where the anarchy 99 and he's like you the guy I talked to about cars and like that, just that whole
Right.
the way he's like super comfortable
And they're like,
there.
oh, okay. He's like, oh, cool. But you guys are cool with cops being
Yeah, yeah, and he's like, these are the cars I want, and all that. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah, that
feel
was
like,
for me, yeah.
like it doesn't feel like the way I'm saying it, which is like I'm saying it like I'm trying to be cool,
Right.
like he's like just like very in his element.
Yeah, and he's not like, this like, I don't know, Action Jackson type.
right. Yeah, no,
He's not this like superhero type, like where you don't believe it. You're
Right.
like, I believe this.
Well, I think that's so good too because I feel like the extreme sports aspect of him.
Yeah.
like 'cause he didn't know how to shoot a gun for real. Because remember, there's a scene later
Yeah,
on
yeah, I thought that
where
was
she's
great.
like, "You gotta take the safety off."
He
Yeah.
knew how to aim, but
Yeah.
he couldn't. He didn't know to take the safety
Yeah.
off because he doesn't really know guns.
Yeah, that's not his thing. But I feel like that viral celebrity, because remember this movie came out like when things were starting to like really pop online. So like
Yeah.
his whole video and like, to me, watching Vin Diesel in this, he just felt cool. Like
Yeah.
he felt like an action hero that you could like everything you want. He was cool. The brother had first off the wardrobe. This brother's coat This brother coat was so fly.
It was fly, dude.
So fly in this thing. I mean, the car, the GTO.
Those cars were nice.
Oh my god! And the thing is, I feel like Vin Diesel has a thing for American muscle cars because I feel
what makes
like
you think that?
well,
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
What movies has he been in with cars?
No, actually, I think that's insane. Why would you even?
I'm saying,
say
but
that?
it's American muscle car, not just any car.
All right,
'Cause
all right.
His special cars in Fast and Furious, he only drives the muscle cars, the loud muscle. Is this his thing?
Yes.
But watching it, it's like, how cool is it to see this dude who is smart, right? He goes back to help out. I mean, that's how he wins, I guess. He goes back to help out the other dudes in need when he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Right? And then, I mean, he does it more. The thing about this is he does it multiple times in the movie. At the very beginning, when he saves the guys when they're like in Colombia. Later on, when the girl's like, hey, they want us to go back. We can get out of here. He's like, no, if they get this, blah, blah, blah. Like, those are heroic traits.
And he's very perceptive.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was like that was the first thing. It was like, I knew because blah, blah, blah. And we've seen that scene 1,000 times where somebody's like, boop, boop. I believed it more this time than Martin Lawrence. I'm sorry. I believed it more this time.
Well, I love his one-line. His one-liners, his humor
All right,
in this movie. His humor in this
I'll
movie
let
was
that
great.
slide, I guess.
I mean, first off, well, Martin, yeah.
All right.
We love you, Martin,
We love
still.
Martin. No, Martin Lawrence is the bomb.
No, it's
Dig
okay.
it.
It's fine. I believed it too. So
Did you though?
no.
Wait, so you want to talk about Sam Jackson though?
Wait. Yeah. Let's talk about Sam Jackson. My favorite.
Why?
I wrote down the scene that I most liked. That I thought he was like killing in.
Yeah.
Is the one when he's like when he really lays down to Xander like what he needs to happen.
Yes.
I thought that scene was.
Which scene?
When he's
The
like, a lot. He's like, you never, you know what happens when lions?
Yeah, that one. That one.
yeah.
Caged up?
After the big
Got you.
the coke explosion at the coke plant or whatever. I thought that scene was great. You know, maybe you see all those X's on. You know, maybe we should call you XXX. But it doesn't seem like it does in every movie when like
agree.
now this is the titular line of the movie.
agree.
It's like that was that you know like it didn't feel like that. It just felt like he was like just trying to set this guy straight.
Yeah.
It's like you are at the end of your rope. Either you do this.
Normally, this would be when I put a gun to your head and force you to do it. But you're not the type that would care, you know, if you died. And he's like, that's right. I guess it's time to call it a day. He's like, no. Have you ever seen what happens to lions when they're in a cage?
That's so interesting because I personally like I don't know how I feel about Sam Jackson in particular in this movie, but watching it, he stood out, and in my head it was a question mark, and I was like, huh. Like for instance, when I saw I think Sam Jackson is great, and
He's got a scar face in this movie.
it was
Whole half of his face.
Half of his face.
it was
Scar.
some like I can't explain.
We
But
don't know
watching
how.
it, I'm like, it was something about him that was off-putting to me, like his particular performance, and it's like, and I never felt that way with Sam Jackson, but it reminded me of some of those Sam Jackson movies that Sam Jackson just puts out. Yeah, and I'm like, I don't. Again, like
but
you
no,
guys,
but,
like
but
I
I would
just
say
felt
that
weird about
Vin
it.
Diesel had moments where he wasn't
Well, to me-
100% natural
well,
too.
well, to me though, when I saw Vin Diesel, like again, he felt cool.
Yeah.
When he said a one-liner, it wasn't to me. I know it's there to be a joke line or whatever.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like it. It felt like
but
this
what
is the
about
cool
the
dude
part?
doing it.
What about the part in the opera house when he just kicks the?
Oh man, that
when
was awesome.
he's like,
Oh, that was bad.
What?
no, I thought that part was so. And then right after that, we see.
I thought Sam Jackson was awesome in that part.
we
though.
see Gibbons. I agree too. But and then we see Gibbons laugh after he kicks.
Yeah.
To me, it felt like a real natural moment where where Samuel Jackson was like, "What is he doing?" He as Samuel Jackson just laughs out loud
funny.
at him, but they use it to be a part of the character.
Look, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, to me, when I watched, I was like, huh. That's really the thought.
But
I had.
but
Huh.
actors, especially actors like Samuel Jackson who work all the time, you're gonna have a couple movies that you phone.
Don't sleep on Sam Jackson, guys.
No,
we ain't sleeping on Sam Jackson.
I see Gerard taking out a pillow. I'm telling you, don't sleep on Sam
Listen,
Jackson.
all right,
first
put the
off,
pillow
first
away,
off,
put
first
the
off,
pillow away.
first off, people
Unwrap
at home.
yourself in that blanket.
First off,
okay?
people at home, there's sights in this whole situation. First, I love Sam Jackson. My thing is, I just, for some reason, it was just, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it.
I loved him in this movie. I thought it was great. Anyway.
I mean,
what you got? You got some notes.
Other moments that I thought were great. I took acting notes because I knew he was going to talk about this.
Well, I don't want to talk about their
you took
acting. That's not what we.
acting
I don't
notes.
want to talk about their acting.
No.
though.
I'm just talking about moments that I thought that Well, that's what we're talking about. You're saying. Wait,
Well, I'm not trying to.
What?
I'm not trying to
you
judge.
just said like, when do I believe?
No, I know. I literally said like I don't know how I feel about it. I was just like, huh. But
Well,
I'm not judging.
and
it.
I just want to talk about another
but
moment
just-
that I really liked.
Just because you're using the word "huh" to describe his acting doesn't mean you're not talking about his
describing his
acting.
acting.
Well, I'm not judging it. I'm just being like, I felt some kind of way about it.
No, you're just not going to say what your judgment specifically is.
you're
Is what
correct.
you're
Whatever.
choosing to do.
Tomato.
What? Okay, all right.
Tomato,
Well,
tomato.
Exactly, tomato. That's both judgment.
Whatever.
I'm gonna say, but just a couple moments that I really like.
Tomato. That's not the right phrase to use in this context.
Listen, when we drive in a car, you got to get gas. You know what I'm saying?
What? Wait, what does that even?
When you drive in a car, you got to get gas.
Well, okay.
What does that have anything to do with what we're
Yeah,
talking
with what
about?
we're talking about.
All right, you know what? You
you're
guys
just
are right.
throwing down-
No. You guys are right. All right, you know what I'm saying? All right. Sometimes when you eat you phone home. All right, I get what y'all saying.
Sometimes when you're ET, you
gotta
phone home.
You gotta
Stop.
phone
No, now
home.
you're just saying blanket statements that are references to stuff.
Yeah,
No one has
get-
ever said that line ever.
Y'all don't get it right now, but y'all gonna get it in like 2
It
minutes.
will not make sense. Don't even try to
You'll
get it. It
in
won't
2
make
minutes.
sense.
You'll get it in 2 minutes, bro. Just
Okay.
wait for it. Producer Nick gets it.
All right,
No, he does. I think he's over there laughing because he doesn't get it at all.
All right, people at home, remember this: when you eat sometimes you got phone home.
Okay,
God.
I don't know what that means.
All I know is that E.T.
E.T. was
wanted
trying to phone home the
That's
whole
all I know.
movie.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm just saying. Sometimes you got to phone home.
Elliot. Okay. Can I say? Okay. Another
John's over here
moment.
like, if you got a bowl of cornflakes, gotta get that milk.
Sometimes
That's true. Hey,
Sometimes Frosted Flakes, they're great.
That was
Nah,
terrible.
Did that
wouldn't
work?
say-
No, that
wouldn't
wasn't
say-
funny at
Was
all.
that worse than? Was that worse than?
I don't even understand.
Can I say my point?
You were the one
I didn't want to
talking.
participate.
You
in
were the one
this bit.
talking.
ahead.
I didn't want to participate
Well,
in
you-
this bit.
You were talking and you.
You did, and you failed. So go ahead.
Hey, all right. Oh my goodness! The moment when the moment at the end when he's like when Xander's like there wasn't really a sweeper team. That part at the end when like Sam Jackson is like when they haven't 100% won, but like they're like resetting. And Sam Jackson is there, and he's just like so tired. Like you just really feel the weight of this moment.
Yeah.
I really like that moment. I really like that scene.
Why are you staring at me in my eyes? Why are you staring at me?
And I realized, no, because I feel like
was this before the whole chase down of the
this was
boat?
before the chase down of the boat. Okay. Oh yeah, but it was after they killed the informant, the dumb Russian cop.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the one that
I
sold
was
them out.
so okay. I was
Yeah, he was the one who was giving the information.
and just talking about the movie. I was when the information was leaked. I couldn't remember from the first time I saw it. I was like, I hope it's not that dumb cop because I'm gonna be so mad if it's that dumb cop.
I know.
And then he opens
cop
the door.
who was like trying to take. So wait, there's a moment in the film
Oh,
where
man, it was so
where
bad.
where Vin Diesel is getting the cars from the Anarchy 99 gang and the cop who's like a Czech cop who's supposed to be working with
Oh,
him.
that's right. We've been saying Russian. They're in Prague the whole time.
No, but I think
They're Russian.
But what
Aren't
would you
they?
say? Would you say Russian?
no,
or would
you're
you
right.
say-
It's probably wrong to
Would
say
you say
Russian.
something else?
But you're right. They were part of the
You would say
Soviet
Czech,
Union.
right?
What?
Prague is in.
No, Prague is a different country. But you're right.
Yeah,
You would
maybe
say-
it's
You would say
Czechoslovakia.
Czech. They're
Czechoslovakia.
Czechoslovakia.
No,
Sorry, you guys have been
no.
saying Russian.
It's the Czech Republic. God.
Yes.
Czechoslovakia is not a country anymore.
Yeah. No.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Great. So
All of
so
our
good. So
Eastern European listeners are very upset.
let's just
Well,
work
we're learning.
the minutes in where this happened, where we clarified
Well, we're
that
trying to
they've been in
figure it
Prague
out.
this whole time.
They've been in Prague, but anyway, this Czech cop is like, I know that they've been in Prague, but I thought the Anarchy 99
Yeah, but
were
maybe
Russian.
they right because he said when the union fell.
Yeah.
He did say that when.
Though maybe that's Czechoslovakia. Honestly.
Oh God!
I know.
You guys
Oh,
made
God.
this so much worse than that. You guys legit have made this so much
I'm
We're
worse.
trying
in
to
a car and it's just going over the
So, I
bridge
mean, listen,
into the
we
water.
we got parachutes and video cameras. It's looking pretty cool while we're doing
Okay,
it.
good.
You both are ET and phoning it home. Right? That's the child.
But sometimes Frosted Flakes.
Shut up, James.
That's the worst.
Shut up.
Nobody. Oh, God. It's not even funny. Basically, this Chep cop wipes the window.
God.
As he's wiping the window to get like a better picture, he just somehow breaks
six
the
windows
whole.
fall down.
It's like this weird comedic moment that like leads to this very like intense action scene. It's very odd.
And scenes late, like 1 or 2 scenes later, it's revealed that Xander is a cop, and it's like, who else would be telling? Who knows?
Right. Yeah, it's just the cop. Anyway, he gets shot. Wait, can we talk about this one part? This has nothing to do with anything race or shade or anything. But can we just talk about the fact that it made no sense in the when he's with the Colombian drug lords and then like the military comes and starts blowing everything up? First of all,
Yeah,
dude,
which part?
First of all, the U.S. military was just straight killing people.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And then, but so then he grabs a dirt bike and he's just driving around and he keeps like finding ramps to jump off of. And I'm like, where are you going?
First off,
it made no sense.
First off, when he
just right.
Yo, it did make sense.
No.
When he does that circle
Do
move,
not try to
when he
justify
hear me
that.
out,
He sees
hear me
the
out.
barn and he's like, oh, that's what I'll do. I'll go up that barn. But it's like, why?
Well, he was drawing attention away. Because remember, he was trying to draw attention away from the
okay.
guy that was hurt. So he was like,
But then how did he get?
because he
No,
blew-
'cause-
how he got back, I don't know.
The directing
it's not
of
like
this
it
scene
didn't-
is so weird. It's so
It's
random
so
because
random.
you don't know where he is spatially.
It's stunts,
It-
baby.
No,
You never
but
know.
That's
Stunts.
but that's exactly right.
Also,
it's just stunts.
How did
It's
he
so
ever like?
insane.
It feels like I was like, what was your plan to get away from these Black Hawks? Like,
Yes.
there
But
was
wait.
no way you were. There's no way you were ever getting away in that
Didn't
little
one-
dirt
didn't
bike.
one Black Hawk like blow up when the
No,
barn
it
blew up?
didn't.
No.
It didn't.
And-
if that happened, that would have made sense. But that didn't happen.
And we got to talk
He
about
just-
how
he just-
terrible shots they are.
Okay.
They are terrible shots.
No,
There's
one's
the point when
terrible.
when he jumps over that.
does a
thing,
Superman
He is a
thing.
very clear open shot that they just don't. They don't hit him at all. They don't hit the bike. They
Oh,
don't
yeah.
hit.
I mean,
they don't
the whole
hit
thing
part
Oh, you
of
talking
it.
about? Listen,
The whole barn
Yeah.
explodes.
That's a spy movie. Yeah. Dude, but
Can I tell you one crazier
Didn't that stunt look so dangerous though?
well, someone
looks-
died. A stunt person died.
stunt
during
person
this
did
film.
die.
making this film.
Yeah. Stunt person
During
died.
that
not that
shot,
one, the parasailing one.
Yeah.
When he parasails and goes under the bridge,
I took a note of like
somebody hit.
Because
They got
the first one, the guy apparently
it.
when I read the first one is the guy is his first attempt, which made it in the movie.
Yeah.
But his second attempt is
he hit.
Because I took
pillar
a
and
note when
died.
that happened about how insane it was that Xander eyeballs that. A stunt that, like, if Evel Knievel was doing it, he would have trained, for weeks, months even, to make sure he was going to be able to do that
To
stunt.
go under the-
So that's
Oh, yeah.
insane. That's crazy.
I
That's
know.
very
there's
sad.
another
terrible.
crazy
It's terrible.
stunt that makes no sense to me. It kind of makes sense. It's like at the end of the movie, like during the whole, the last hurrah, like Xander jumps out the plane on the surfboard, right?
Yeah.
Like the cool kids do. If you remember back in the day, the
Oh,
White
it
Ranger
starts
did
in
it too.
Avalanche.
Yes, the White Ranger
White
did do
Ranger
it.
did it.
Shout out
Power
to
Rangers the movie.
the White Ranger.
White Ranger did it in the movie.
Jason Frank, right?
Yeah,
Is his
Jason
name?
Frank. But the thing that's so funny about it is that he does this like avalanche, right? And the thing is, this avalanche is so ridiculous. And I'm like, hey, you can't think of a better situation. It's not a better.
No, he could have done anything
No,
else.
but this is my thing. Not
could've
only
done-
I still
anything else.
I honestly, why did he need the avalanche?
Why?
I think he was using it to thwart who he knew was going to be coming after him. Like he was like, you know what?
they
I ain't
were
got
all-
no
They were
weapons.
at the bottom
He was,
of the
no, he
hill.
was like,
Front of him.
I ain't got no weapons. Let me use this mountain real quick.
What I'm saying is,
Just blew up the mountain.
is he was probably a mile away from the rest of them, and he doesn't have. He's
Yeah.
not on a motorized snow
I
machine,
know.
right?
Why did he go fast?
It made
How did he
no
go
sense.
faster than everybody else?
It made no sense that he was faster than everyone else. And then
It made no sense that antenna just held up.
in the end, but also though, everyone got crushed, even him. Like he still got crushed by the avalanche.
Well, but he was over it though.
Like his
Was he-
head had enough
Was he
room.
above it?
He was above it
Because then in
because
the
of
end,
the-
his hand came out of the.
Yeah, he was still
I
in
know.
it.
He was in.
He got
you're
hit.
right.
Literally in the end.
He was above most of it though.
no.
Yeah, no, I think
No,
that was the thing. He was
supposed to
above
be at the
most
top.
of it.
He was supposed to be at the top. So
But
like,
why did that other guy just drive his thing into the house?
Yeah, he was
Why, did he
trying to
think
get
it
away,
was gonna
right?
be
He might have
good?
thought it was
Yeah,
high,
I think
high
he
enough.
thought he was gonna get away.
That
But
made no
also, I'm
sense.
like,
Anyway,
Vin Diesel
I love
did
this
not
movie.
have a snow. snowmobile.
No, and
he had
no
like a
snowmobile,
board.
and it felt like
Just a board.
the writers
I love
were
this
like,
movie.
well, what the thing that I love about that part when he snowboards is they do a call forward to it. They foreshadow it. Like when
That's true. They foreshadowed a lot of stuff.
They did.
Yeah, and I think it's actually done really well.
Yeah, that's
in
his
this movie.
perceptiveness. That's his
But
perceptiveness.
like he looks out and sees the mountain, and like you just know he's thinking, I'm gonna shred on that later.
Oh,
Like-
yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know he's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
he's like setting that up. And then like when the avalanche is happening, it feels like the writers were like, you know that part with fire when he's like going down the barn? What if we did it but with snow later on? Like,
the stunts.
It's so dope.
The stunts in this movie were nuts, though. He even shreds going down like after he gets found out.
yeah,
Yes.
Trey.
Like the
with
tray.
a tray.
A tray.
So great.
Yeah, that was silly.
First of all, in this man's coat. Where can I find that coat, Bray?
All right.
Let's look for that coat.
that-
Producer Nick, can you Google that?
Wow.
You've been Googling a lot.
Some
Google
other
this coat.
okay, wait. Some
Okay.
I'm
I
just
need
looking at my
that coat.
notes. Since we're jumping around, I just want to say a few other moments that I really like.
Was it Vin Diesel when he put
Vin
the coat
Diesel's.
on?
Well, first of all, he was dope in that coat.
He was
I mean,
so-
we gotta give it up to him for that coat. He looks great in the coat.
Okay.
It's a great coat.
Let's move past the code.
I actually really liked this. This could have been hokey. We've talked about this. Him not being hokey on the one-liners. This could have been hokey in like any other movie. But when he says "fire in the hole," then he does that callback to when the guy said it. I actually thought it was really cool. Like he didn't do anything extra with it. It was just like fire in the hole, boom, and then the explosion
Yeah.
happened. It was like I thought that was really dope.
And then they had that scene with him when all those people died.
Which one was that?
When they're testing the
Oh yeah, the gas.
and it was like, first of all, you were like, man, these people are mad evil for no reason, and they're like laughing about it. They're like
yes,
mocking these people dying, and you see him, and he's like, oh,
he's actually choked up,
he's
and
like
you
choked
believe
up,
it.
and he can't,
Vin Diesel had great acting moments.
That was great.
What did you guys think about the one-liner he had towards the end, and he gets the heat-seeking missile, and he's smoking.
Oh, that one I didn't like.
That one was dumb.
No, but I'm saying, but that is that cliche. Like I told him no cigarettes.
I
would
told
kill
him that cigarette would
The,
kill
the
him.
reason that I didn't like that is because, first of all,
Oh, Nick, this coat looks good.
tell me how that bazooka is just laying on the floor, or they're just like over there, and he's like, wait, is that a bazooka? And they're like, no, it's a heat-seeking missile. And
Yeah.
I'm like, so why aren't you guys using it?
Right.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, oh, he had a cigarette. Oh, so the one cigarette is producing
it wasn't
more
that
heat
human
than
body.
I
than
thought the
all
human
of
bodies.
your human
Yeah.
bodies.
Hey, listen.
Like that makes no sense.
Listen, we're not fact checking this thing.
Also, why does the Czech like police force have a heat-seeking missile?
First off, the Ivans came to party.
Yeah,
bruh.
the Ivans.
The
definitely
Ivans
came
are like,
apart.
we're going to war. The
That is
Ivans were
definitely
capping
him.
people in that thing, man.
I liked.
Lot of
Speaking of other lines, I really liked when he was like, "Why are you with the Ivans?" I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
And then I really liked when
so
what was
random.
what was the woman's name? What was the woman's name?
yeah. It's
Yelena.
Yelena.
So when Yelena's like, when she says like,
good.
I've been here for 2
I
years,
liked it.
and he's like, you've been here for 2 years. What was your plan to let them die of old age? I
Yeah,
thought
that was
line
great. It was great.
That was
It was
funny.
great.
I thought he was
Yeah,
really great.
but then there's also that part at the end of the movie where Yelena, where they're her and Sam Jackson are looking, where the boat crashed, and they're just looking, and she just goes, and she turns around and she goes, and then she runs over and then looks over the bridge on the other side and
just
is there.
knows
And
that
I was
he's
like,
there?
wait. She turned around and then got excited, but then had to peer over the bridge, so she didn't see him from where she was.
She had hope. She had hope.
Did she just feel him?
She had hope, man. She was
Anyway.
like, he's not dead. You know, it's so funny.
we
There was
gotta
one
talk-
line. There was
Okay,
one line
what?
that I didn't like.
Right.
It wasn't a Vin Diesel, but because we keep doing these movies, I keep thinking about like I'm happy that Yelena turned out to be a spy at the end. But
Oh, I
early
knew
on,
that she was gonna be a spy.
I mean, of course,
It was obvious,
But
yeah.
early on in the movie, when Vin Diesel goes to the bar when he first meets Anarchy 99, and once the guy's like the lead dude is like, all right, business is done, let's party, and then his brother goes, all right, come in, bitches, is what he says or something like that. And I'm like, for instance, in my head, I'm like, man, and I know women talk about this all the time, but like when I think about like certain movies, and I think about like,
Oh, the actors who have to be those.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like those women were like, And then not even so that scene is whatever. But then later on, when Xander goes to the house and they're still partying, like there's like they're pulling women out of like the fountain and stuff. And it's like
putting them over their shoulders.
it's like
and that's all the women that are in the film. And there's like only this one woman. Oh, and Eve. But even Eve and the other woman who are in the beginning scene and they never show up again, and they talk to each other. So two women do talk to each other, but it's about
It's about him.
Yeah. It's about him.
So
And like Eve's
like
Eve seems to be jealous.
Yeah.
In like some way.
And the other woman throws herself at him. Not though she's like, I got you. And he's like, I'm gonna say this for later.
I took a lot of notes about this because I know you bring it up, and I didn't think that the women, even that main character, I thought that she could have been written better too.
I thought so too.
But first, just talking about the ancillary characters, like they're pulling women out of the fountain, and the one that gets pulled out of the fountain, the guy just like slaps her ass. Like, can you imagine being like, oh guys, I'm in XXX. I'm in the party scene. I know, and that's probably how you would talk about it. And then it's like, oh, that's the part that gets shown. Like, so that's your part of that movie. Then the one we talked about, the woman that's just in
his room.
She's just in his room, and the rap music that's playing in the background is like very trashy.
The rap music is about boning us. Like the rap music literally tell you what he's supposed to do
right now with this one. And then the thing that I thought was weird about the way they wrote Yelena was like, in her first few scenes, we don't really know what her deal is. We do know that she's like
his boo,
and she even says a line like, "You don't pay me enough," which actually,
if you pay me enough, I'll be your woman.
But it seems more like, because of this actress is so good, it seems more like she's just saying that to throw it in his face and not something connected to like her
it also
character.
seems like she has a fight in her. You're like, oh, there's something with this one.
But when the and I guess the thing later is like that we really are supposed to know is that she knew this whole time that he was a
correct.
Did she
a spy, but I don't think she did. Yeah, I think she.
She didn't know the whole time
because
no. She
didn't know.
Oh wait, no, yes she did.
So then she did because it's so weird. It's weird because I think that she was just like a double agent, right? Like, wasn't she just?
She knew the whole time. The story that she told him was a lie at first, and because she was a part of the Czech police.
She was, but
do we know that she knows that he's one? Because then this is the part
what
that
she didn't know.
If she doesn't know that
you're right. I don't know.
If she doesn't know that he's a spy, I think it's weird that.
No, I think she knows he's a. Sorry, continue.
Well, but I think it's weird that she is so against him. She has that look of sadness when he shoots the cop. But then there's that scene later, right after this, where like she kisses him, and it's almost romantic, and like. And,
I think it's supposed to be romantic.
Yeah, but that's the part that I feel weird about, because like if she feels like he's this horrible person who just killed a cop, if she really feels that way, then why would she?
Well, I feel like
why would she be able to let it?
Well, because the boss wanted her to sleep with him.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like so
she kissed. She's like, I'll kiss him or whatever. You're right. Maybe she doesn't know he's a spy.
I don't think she does, because remember she laughs when he tells her, and then once she gets the phone call, he's like, hey, just so you know, Xander is a.
But then it's also it's such a weird gray area when you're a double agent, because she also, like, if you need to keep your own cover, which she's
not
did.
A double agent. She's an undercover agent.
She's undercover.
Stop saying double agent. There's not.
But when you're a double agent.
Hey man, this.
But when you understand what double agent.
When you're working as a double agent, then you know.
You stop it right now. You stop it.
But like, when you belong to two agencies,
she doesn't belong
to two agencies.
When you're an agent who, you have to just make sure you keep your cover, even if you know.
All right,
that's an undercover.
What we need to talk about is it's time for the swirl.
I have a question.
It's a good question.
We haven't done a swirl. We haven't done a movie with a swirl in it. What do I do? There's a swirl in this movie.
Well,
is there a swirl in this movie?
The thing is,
there a swirl?
Does it actually happen? Just the kiss.
Time out though. This is the tricky part. Is that as people have, listeners can realize that I've been begging for scraps these last couple of movies. Yeah. Like if a black man gets a kiss on the cheek, so he does get a kiss, and in the club, and at the end of the movie, they clearly are on a vacation together.
Yeah.
She's on top of him. he gets
And
some,
he has a
gets
sex scene.
He got but that woman is.
Well, can you talk about this
I
moment?
think that woman is.
I took a note about this
so the end
about a swirl moment. No, right before the end. There's there.
I'm saying, is there a swirl? Because I still am not saying that Vin Diesel's black.
Well, there's a couple swirl moments. What I'm saying is that technically he gets kissed twice.
Yeah.
So getting kissed counts as a swirl.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Like to me, I mean,
to you, your job here
It
is
doesn't
done.
actually count as a
Well,
swirl.
then, well,
because
no.
well, I mean,
that happens.
Jerah's been doing
movies,
kisses as
how many
swirls
movies
lately.
have we done where we haven't seen a kiss?
Well, can you talk about this for me,
There have
then,
been movies
please?
with the kiss.
There's that in that the second time they kiss.
The one at the beach.
No.
Oh, the one before.
The one before when she's
yeah.
like, remember when I said it would never happen
Yeah,
again?
yeah.
I lied. So can we talk about this? It's like a real gentle moment. And then the second they start kissing, rock music starts playing again.
Because-
like they couldn't let it be gentle.
Because,
like it,
man, this is an aggressive movie.
What are you talking about? This movie's called XXX.
no, but
It
like,
was a
but,
movie,
but,
ain't
the,
cute.
but
Extreme, baby.
But I'm saying the scene right
Right,
before
they have sex on rocks. B.
But I'm
They had
saying
sex
the fact that she's drawn
on a
to
pogo
kiss.
stick.
But the reason she's drawn, okay.
Oh my
I'm saying the reason she's drawn to kiss. Hey, when in the Terminator sex scene is very romantic.
What?
Yeah, it's like they play the theme. They play the Terminator theme, like
Dude,
but with
this movie
with piano.
XXX.
Ba-da-da, ba-ba-ba.
You know how much
Like
rock
that.
music is played?
They play it like that.
They
So-
play let the body stuff floor
No,
throughout
but,
the whole.
I'm saying the moment right before is gentle. That's why she's drawn to kiss him. But then the second they kiss, instead of keeping it gentle, they throw on rock music.
Because he got that kiss, and that kiss gave him energy to go save the day. That's what that was for.
No, I'm mad. I'm mad y'all don't see eye to eye
Guys, no,
with me
I'm
on
saying,
that.
but I just don't know what to do because the kiss counts as a swirl for me. It does. He got 2 kisses, and she put lotion on it. He got 3 kisses.
You can do another swirl.
got 3 kisses.
Why did the
What about
the
Sam
airplane
Jackson?
pilot? Why did the pilot go? Why when the pilot said that she could? When the woman said
Jackson, he wasn't the lead.
that's true.
He don't get no swirl.
He wasn't the lead.
He doesn't get a swirl.
I'm just saying, he
Guys,
But he's
after how
black.
many podcasts have we done, Nick? Do you know?
But he's black.
wasn't. in the
Almost how many?
40,
So out of
almost
40
yeah.
podcasts, have we had another movie with a swirl in it?
Yes.
What?
Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles, yeah. And that one was straight on sex that happened during
That was a sex.
during the plot of the.
Did we see it?
We ain't see no actual
You
sex
didn't see sex in this
in
movie.
this movie. We just saw the kiss.
Man, whatever.
And
He
sex-
got 3 kisses in this movie.
That's
3
true.
kisses.
That's true. But I'm just saying.
and the
But I'm
sex
just
and the
saying.
sex in Blazing Saddles was race related.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Bang bang boom.
Wait.
Bang bang.
Why you get so?
Calm down.
No, yeah.
It wasn't
Calm,
really that race.
calm down. I'm just saying. There's 2 movies with the swirl. This is the one that wasn't.
Just
The whole
blew
point
out
of
our
Blazing Saddles.
speakers.
The whole point of Blazing Saddles was he was a black dude being a whatever.
All right. Okay. Fine. There's no swirl in this. Is what we're saying, right?
Well, no, it was no swirl in Blazing Saddles. I think it's a swirl in this movie because he got a kiss. He
I
got
don't
3
think so, 'cause
kisses.
He's not black.
First off, that man, if he checks other,
Okay.
when he
Oh no.
when he puts out his
It's so
paperwork,
funny that I'm saying it. I'm the lightest guy.
when he does his paperwork and he puts other, that counts.
Just being other counts.
Hey, bruh, I'm gonna take what I can get. All right,
All right.
this man looks ethnic.
I'm trying to find this picture of this other woman because I think that woman was
Hey, Bray,
white. I can't.
I
Find
don't
it.
know.
I'm so mad. All right, time for the cause.
we had a swirl, y'all.
All right, whatever.
Yeah.
That was a pathetic swirl.
No,
Wait, it was a
I'm
swirl in
sorry.
the movie.
I'm sorry.
You
I'm
let
sorry.
us down.
It was
I'm
swirl.
sorry.
I wanted you to have a swirl with Sam Jackson.
I know we got to
Sam
talk
Jackson
about.
isn't the lead.
I know we got to talk about the cause real quick,
All
but
right.
I'm just saying, Vin Diesel in this movie is kind of the underclassman of that agency.
Why are we doing?
Like he's kind of the underclassman of that agency. You know what I mean? Like he's the new guy.
Are you even? You're not even asking anymore if
You're
this is a good
telling us.
movie.
You're
Do you
telling
understand
us.
that?
You're just
not
trying to
even
sell us.
asking if it's a good
I'm
movie.
just saying. I'm
You're
just saying, like
connecting it
in a
loosely.
way, and he in underclassmen he rides 4-wheelers.
James,
and
is
in this-
Underclassmen a good movie?
Do you?
I
like
mean,
it?
I just want to know. Is it
Hold on,
good?
no,
Do you
James,
guys know if it's good?
when Underclassmen comes on, or if you see it on Netflix, do you press play?
Well, I'm not gonna
All right.
say no.
Would you refer?
Nick Cannon, you're always invited on the Black Man Can't Jump Hollywood podcast.
No, we should have him come on because he might like this. I want to know what Nick Cannon thinks about this movie. Why did everyone get so quiet? Y'all got so quiet. Yo, literally.
I thought.
Literally, yo. First off, for the people at home, just so everyone knows what just happened, okay? I said that
heard what just happened.
Jonathan literally was about to say something, covering his mouth and the mic. James just looked straight down. No one looked up at me at all.
This is all conjecture.
No one looked at me at all.
Nobody knows that what he's saying is true.
Y'all heard the silence.
All right, so we rate films not based on how well we think the movie did or was, but on how much it helped the cause of more leading black actors in Hollywood. We give it either a black fist,
What's up?
meaning it really helped the cause, a white palm.
Oh, hey.
It was a so-so.
We both win.
Yeah, what a weird
I'm
thing.
so
Both of us did the same voice, though. Like,
Okay, or we give it nothing. All right. You guys ready? You guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We count from 5 or 3. You count from 5 or 3?
Oh, Lord.
I'm just going to put it out there.
no.
Vin Diesel. Anyway.
No, you two stop.
All right, here we go.
I think we're going to start from 3.
We're
Right?
going to start from 3. 3, 2, 1? Okay.
3, 2, 1.
All right, baby.
What? James?
Once again, I did the same thing with the last movie we watched.
So this movie got 2 black fists and a white palm.
Did I surprise you?
James, it kind of. I kind of.
Well, so I will
thought.
say,
No, you said you liked this. I figured you were gonna give it a fist. I'm shocked you didn't give it.
No,
a fist.
but but you don't know why I gave it a fist.
Stop posing. What is wrong?
You
with
don't know why I gave it a fist.
Stop posing.
I gave
No
it a
one
palm.
sees
I'm gonna
you.
tell you why I gave it a fist.
Should I
He
go
was
first?
going-
You go
I
first.
should go first because you guys are going to say more.
You don't know why?
You're gonna
it's not
say
because I liked it. That's not what the cause is.
You're going to say more positive things about the
Hey,
movie than
hey,
I.
you be safe.
Well, no, because I'm not going to say anything. I love this movie, and I love
believe you.
that Vin Diesel is an actor of color, and he has all these lead roles.
know, but-
I love that shit, son. But the reason I gave it a palm is because I think it's because because of the question of is he an actor of color? Like JB asking that over and over made me go, all right, does this movie make people want to cast more actors of color or make people want to keep casting Vin Diesel, which is
Or
you
Vin
know,
Diesel likes.
or people like Vin Diesel, which is like just more
Can I say something about that? Though?
Yeah.
Like I feel like, and I know I come at light skinned people a lot. I just do it for fun, which I should stop. But what I'm saying is Vin Diesel, like, he's mixed, right?
Right.
So to me, him being cast in a role is a person
Mixed
of color.
with what?
Well, my thing is like no matter what, he's mixed
Right.
with something. Like
yeah.
What
So
if he's
that's why this
Italian?
was hard.
What if he's Italian and Armenian?
But I'm saying,
Armenian?
No,
Yeah, but
but it doesn't matter, right? Because that's that is the, so now
Doesn't
now,
that matter?
Yeah, I get.
Well, to me,
wait,
so
you consider
are
Italians actors
You
of
sound
color?
like you're arguing
no,
my
no,
point.
no. What I'm saying is he considers himself.
It sounds like you're arguing my point,
I don't know
and
what- I don't know what the point
but
is.
now I want to change. Yeah, no, but that was it. Exactly what you're saying
That
is
woman
like,
black?
I'm not saying she's black, but I don't think she's white.
oh, you just paused this part of the movie.
I can't tell. It's such a bad quality. Sorry, keep going.
But now I'm mad now
Keep going,
because
keep going.
well, but that was it. But that it's like because we don't know his ethnicity when people see this movie, like it's the same as like when Keanu Reeves gets cast. It's like that is actually great that this actor of color or you would say this minority actor, not an actor of color, right? Because he's not. Neither is Vin Diesel technically is not either, right? He's a minority, but he's not an actor of color because he is a gringo, right? But it's like when these actors get cast, it is great because it's diversity. That is great. But then it's like that question. It's that same reason why like we might not give a movie a fist if it's a Will Smith movie because Will Smith has like transcended color at this point, right? I think it's that same way. It's in that same way.
I like that.
Yeah, I hear
but
what you're saying.
but that
like
being
that.
said, I do just want to say that I 100% agree that when a minority actor is cast in a role, that is great and amazing, right? Like I just want to make sure that is
Yes.
clear and important.
Yes.
I think that.
You go.
To me, I
Look
give
at
this
that.
movie a fist.
Is she black or white?
The thing is,
Everybody has to tell us.
I don't
Tweet at
know.
us at Black Man Podcast. I don't know either.
What do
I
you
was
think,
trying so
producer
hard.
Nick?
And I didn't want to look like a perv, but I kept rewinding this part because I kept trying to figure out if she was black or not.
Just so everyone knows, Jonathan Braylock for how long is this scene? Over a minute and a half.
Okay, shut up.
He's been watching on replay this Vin Diesel sex scene. As James has been talking.
First of all, there's no nudity in the scene. There's no nudity.
She's literally gyrating on a pole.
Yeah, she's sketchy.
But then he says the
things I do for my country, which is in the trailer.
Oh, that part's in the trailer?
That part's in the trailer. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's interesting. I mean,
I feel bad about giving it a palm.
I gave it a palm. I gave it a fist because, and it's only because I've had this discussion with some of my lighter skinned friends who are mixed, who I can't speak for them. Braylock probably can speak more to that. Just the idea. I'm saying no, because you are like I can't speak to like
talking about me like I'm not here.
No, I'm saying I was pointing to you. I was talking. Like,
all right, continue.
What I was saying is like, for instance, I do know
I'm not this light skinned.
I know you're not. I know you're not.
I like what you're about to say.
I know you're not.
Seton Smith really called it. We are sensitive.
I like what you're about to say.
Like, I know there's this whole struggle of like for instance, I know my struggle being dark skinned. I know there's a different struggle with being light skinned and how you identify with being who you are, right?
Yeah.
So for me, for Vin Diesel saying I'm a person of color, like he says I'm a person of color. Yeah. So to me, that's enough.
Yeah.
And when I see him personally, he does have features that I identify with. Like, he has features that I think African Americans do have. If he looks a certain way to me, and if he says that I'm a person of color, I have every right to believe that he is. So for him to get this movie, and this movie make $277 million, it's like, that's a black man who, or whatever. Whatever he is. Whatever he is, the fact that he made that much money says so much to Hollywood. Because he did that, him doing this movie, him going back to the Fast and Furious franchise, he has made money. Vin Diesel, personally, Vin Diesel in particular, just so people know, when he went back to do Fast and Furious, it was his decision, and he's a producer on that movie, and he got everyone else to come back. So when he makes these movies, he gets a percentage of the movie, and he's on the creative team behind it. So these movies, as we all know, has one of the most diverse casts in Hollywood to ever exist. So much so that people are trying to figure out how do we do this kind of thing because these movies are making so much money with each. I mean, there's 7 movies in, about to be 8, and it's still making a bunch of money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to me, it's like he did that. Like Vin Diesel did. Vin Diesel is the one who was like, we got to put the rock in. It's like Vin Diesel did these things on purpose, and it's like, I don't care. The thing is, I don't care what that man is. Like he says, he can come out and be like Korean and white. Good. So what?
Yeah,
that counts.
JB, after you say your thing, I have to speak after you say something. Yeah, I have to
say it. Say it now.
No, I can't say it now. I have to wait till after you're done.
Why do you have to wait till after?
I have to wait till after you're done.
Braylock wants to go last.
Yeah, I'm supposed to get the last word.
You want to go last? Okay, then I have to say this.
I know.
No. I have to say this. And I know we don't normally do this, but I redact my palm, and I have to redact it, and here's why. I was speaking for my cause as a dark-skinned black man, and throughout this episode, we've been talking about what it means to be mixed and what that, and my answer only talked about dark skin, and I only thought about dark skin, and I don't agree. You know what I mean? Like I was only thinking about my own personal cause, and I don't think that is. I don't even think that is. I just got in my head about it.
No, but
do you know what I mean?
No, this is the thing, 'cause I think, and I will admit it right now, like as a darker skinned person, I have the misconception that being light skinned is easier. So sometimes to me, so not even easier, but it's like to me, it's like seeing Vin Diesel in this movie and the fact that like he can play. I guess when people say like, is he black? Like when Braylock is like, is he black? The fact that it's a questionable and he got to have a swirl type moment, it's like, right? Of course he can.
But that's the thing. It's like, but that's the thing. You might feel that one way, but I was already talking earlier about like the struggle that my girlfriend has. You know what I mean? Like it's like
no, because you're thinking about it from your own, and it's difficult to do.
Yeah, no. I know we don't normally do it, but I totally pull back my palm. It's a fist now.
All right,
I give it a fist.
Braylock's looking off into the sunset.
I do want to say, Vin Diesel identifies as a person of color. And
I'm so scared to hear what
I
this
think
is.
that I have to say that he's a person of color.
Wait, yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I love that you're like,
What? I've been struggling with this the entire episode.
No, you have.
True,
You've been
true,
very vocal about it. So
But the thing is, we don't know. Maybe he knows, maybe he doesn't. But because he identifies as a person of color, and because people can project that onto him, it almost like Jerah saying it doesn't really matter.
But exactly, yeah.
And it also kind of shows how this whole concept of race is so ridiculous.
Right.
Yes.
It's so silly. It's like, why do we care?
Yeah.
We should not care about how light skin or brown or whatever, what features, but it's like people are people. Like, that's what our whole podcast is about. And it's like, now that being said, I do think it matters in terms of the scope of like what Hollywood looks like. I do think Hollywood, especially in the international markets and honestly, just in general, like, I don't think Vin Diesel, and this one was white. I kept looking at it. She's definitely,
I don't know,
she's
bruh.
very tan.
She is darker than Vin Diesel in this movie.
I will say this. She's very tan. I think that was also very purposeful. I think they definitely got somebody who was very tan, but I'm pretty sure she's white.
Fans tweeted us. Watch the movie.
But I'm just saying, I don't think if Vin Diesel, if it was Wesley Snipes, he wouldn't have had that.
If you are that woman and you're listening to this
she would have had to be
podcast,
blacker.
just let us know.
Like, shades matter in Hollywood.
Shades
right?
do.
And we're getting to a point now, hopefully, where it doesn't, but they do kind of matter. That being said, XXX had a sequel, and they did not replace Vin Diesel with a white man. They replaced him with Ice Cube. Mm-hmm. Now, whether or not Ice Cube should have had a film career because he's a rapper, no, I'm not going to talk about that.
You almost did it. Don't do it.
I'm not going to talk about that.
Don't do it. Don't do
but
it.
What I am going to talk about...
Wait a second. Talk about it for a second. Do it 1 second. No,
what I am going to talk about is that...
Talk about it for a second.
This movie literally made a sequel, and when they couldn't get Vin Diesel, they went to another person of color.
Say it again for him.
Yeah.
Rewind that for him. Rewind it for him.
When they couldn't get Vin Diesel, they didn't get a white man. They got another actor of color.
Whoa! Oh, wait. Do we call Ice Cube an actor? We call him an actor. We call him.
Listen,
we call
the
him
man acts in films. He gets paid.
Can we
to
say
act.
rap? Can we say rap?
The man
actor?
is more of an actor than we are, man. He makes a lot of money acting. That's
is
right.
True.
Suck that truth in yourself.
That is true.
Anyway,
congrats, Ice Cube.
Congrats, Ice Cube. So anyway, that's really my main reason for giving it a fist. And then also, like, it did all the things that we want films with actors of color to do. I think he benefited from the fact that he is lighter skinned, but also, why should that work? Why should we, punish him for that?
Yeah.
No, but that's the thing is, we shouldn't.
Well,
that's why I'm so hardcore about redacting my palm.
But I will talk about this. Rashida Jones, right, is another person who talks like, she's black. She's very light skinned because her father Quincy is light skinned, and she talks about this all the time. Like, there was remember that video where
the reporter said, "What are you?"
She's like, "Oh, you're so tan."
Yeah.
The reporter was like, "Oh my God, you're so tan. You look great." She's like, I'm black, right? And the reporter was like, "Oh," it's like she didn't know. The reporter just didn't know.
Yeah.
Which is so interesting. It's like you get to a point where because of the skin tone, it doesn't matter, and then it's like, then it makes you question. Well, why does any of this matter? You know what I mean?
I don't think any of it does
but that's
matter,
the thing is, it doesn't. On the
it's
inside,
like,
we're all
it shouldn't matter, but it's so funny because I think, we never, that's so interesting. We never really talk about SNL, but, during the Super Bowl, everyone's like, the whole thing when the world found out Beyonce was black.
Right.
It's like, it's that thing of, none of this skin stuff should not matter at any point. But I feel like it's a double. I feel like it's Hollywood does it, and then also
it's a double-edged sword. Yeah,
I can say the black community does it as well. I remember, I remember growing up, and there was a distinct line of this person can do this. I think I brought it up before. Like, girls, I can't talk to you. I can't have sex with a person like you. My baby won't have a good head. It's something that we still pass along, which hopefully we stop doing. But it's we still pass along. There's this IG thing of on Instagram, and all the pretty mixed babies, and it's it'll be a pretty mixed baby and then a darker skinned baby, and then it's people always do all the likes for the curly hair baby. I'm like, no, they're just kids. This darker baby is beautiful. This white baby is beautiful.
The curly hair baby though.
Shut up. No, but it's an interesting thing of we do it in our own community, but then also Hollywood perpetuates that, so there's no way to not see that. Even you and your answer, you thought of it from a dark skin perspective, but it's just because.
But that's what I mean.
Innately,
but it's weird though too, right? Because that's why the reason I'm so hardcore about redacting it is like at the core of our message is it's black people or people of color, right?
Yeah.
And like that's what he, you know what I mean? He is. Yeah. So it's like this. It's this, and it is a part of that struggle. So then to give it to say that it doesn't support 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To say that it doesn't support 100%.
We're
humans.
like way
We're
over
learning.
time, but like
We're learning,
We
man.
actually didn't. There's another whole other part of this conversation of like, but what if a black person who's lighter plays somebody and historically in real life was a darker?
He's about
There's
Nina
a-
Simone.
Yeah, Nina Simone, Zoe Saldana.
Yeah,
like,
but that's. Oh yeah, but it's not. I don't think that's a problem as much as
it's a
no, it's a
big
but-
huge deal.
But I mean as much as it's a even bigger problem that like Zoe Saldana, like she could have played. She is an actor who could play Nina Simone.
Well,
but
Nina Simone is
a darker.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't give it to Zoe Saldana just because she's a
name.
You know, give it. Right, and then when you cast Zoe Saldana, don't put makeup on
and
it.
then the whole thing is that shade matters.
And the thing is, yeah.
Shade matters because it's been such a thing
it did
for so
matter.
long.
It
Right,
did-
exactly.
And the thing is, that was Nina Simone's struggle. We should do that movie once it comes out.
Oh
Yeah.
man, so many films.
yeah.
All right.
No,
thanks
but
for hanging
you know
out.
what I mean? Yeah, that's
'cause
why I had to. But that's why I had.
No, we
to.
get it. We're learning. We're people. We're trying to grow. Like we're not like
yeah.
we're
Wonder if
trying
we're gonna
grow.
get hate tweets for this.
No, I'm saying we're trying to grow. Like we're not. Like,
Oh, no,
we're
stop
trying
it.
to learn as much as possible.
I will say. I'll say this. I deserve some. I deserve some hate.
Man, you
some
grow.
hate
We're
tweets from my
trying to
original-
learn. We're learning
nah,
as
man.
we're
Makes
learning.
sense.
Guys,
Alright.
thanks for staying with us because we went over.
We went over.
We went over,
how
but
much?
That's okay. Triple X, baby. Vin Diesel. Okay.
Rent
we'll
it.
do some plugs. We'll see you next week.
Peace. What's up, y'all? It's James III here with some really quick plugs. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, Black Men Podcast. You can also find us on the web at blackmenpodcast.com. You can check out all our shows there. We have the NYC Pod Fest coming up in May 22nd at 3 p.m. The tickets are available there on that website. You can follow John Braylock at John Braylock on Twitter and Instagram. He made me say this. His Snapchat is Little John 2001. Okay. You can follow Jerah Milligan at Jerah Milligan on Twitter, and I am JamesThirdComedy.com, also at James Third Comedy on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Next week, we're going to see you laughing in that purple rain, starring the late legend Prince. So y'all got to check that out. Make sure you watch it. You probably have been watching it numerous times if you're like any of us. So we will see you next week. Purple Rain starring Prince. Peace.
That was a HeadGum podcast.